Hey guys, so I just wanted to make a super quick video kind of going through what my seedling status looks like right now, and it's not the best because I started way too early. I got a little bit let's see, spring fever crazy, and I planted all my seedlings in the end of February and the beginning of March. We had a uncharacteristically cold spring and late snowstorms. I'm zone 4A. I just had to second guess that. I think that's my zone. I'm in like the southeastern part of North Dakota, and it's been a weird spring. I can't remember the last time it's been this bad, but it is what it is. I'm trying to just baby my seedlings right now, which they're full-grown plants. You'll see my tomatoes here. I'm going to bring you through my setup. I apologize in advance for the kids because they're going to be loud. It's raining out right now, and it's just a gorgeous evening. It's kind of got a chill in the air, but I love the rain, and so I like to just be outside and just enjoy it while I can, because I work tomorrow, so... the point of this video is just to show you that just to start your seedlings, even if you're afraid to. I mean, depending on what zone you're in, it's a little late now to do your starts, but next year, just go for it. And even now, I mean, depending if you have a long growing season, if you're in like more of the southern states or a warmer climate, just do it. You can start it as big or as small as you want. And it doesn't have to look beautiful. It doesn't have to be perfect, because Instagram and Facebook and YouTube even has all of these gorgeous, and I'm even guilty of envying these beautiful greenhouses filled with perfect looking plants. And I know it's taken those people years to get to that point, and they learned at one point too. And a lot of them are really good at showing you that, this is where I started and this is where I am now. And that's kind of what I want to do too with this channel, is just show you it doesn't have to be perfect and it can still work. My tomatoes are really rough. I actually am going to show you a flat that I killed. My starts that I killed. It wasn't intentional. I watered everything and I missed that tray. And then I let it sit for a couple days because I thought I was good, and these are in the garage. And I came out and they were all dead. And they're my Cherokee Purples from Baker Creek, and I was devastated, but I still have more, so that's okay. And there's even a flat in there that is I'll show you how I do my tomato starts. It's kind of super easy, really good success rate this year. It's the first time I've tried it, but I've seen it on a lot of YouTube channels. Melissa K. Norris does this, so go check out her channel. She's awesome. But yeah, I'm going to take you into my poor, pathetic looking area, but show you that it doesn't have to be beautiful to still work. I'm going to be planting this coming weekend and week. I have some time off from work, so my husband and I are going to work pretty hard at trying to get a lot of projects done, and one of them is planting. So I'm going to try and do a potato planting, which I've had awful success with potatoes, but you'll come along with me for that one too. And then these starts that I have in here, I have peppers, I have cabbage, I have broccoli, I have tomatoes. Gosh, I got herbs and a bunch of other stuff. My herbs got really rough. There's also a soil that I used that I'm going to show you guys the brand and stuff, and it's not very good because I think that's what's stunting my tomatoes inside the house. I repotted them. I potted them up because once you start them in the flat, like I'm going to show you here in a minute, when you start them in this flat, they'll start competing for root space, and you don't really want that. And tomatoes are super great for, repotting and uppotting and getting into bigger pots. So that's a great one to start with. There's a bird up there, and my cat is going nuts. You leave that birdie alone, Magellan. Yeah, jeez. I get sidetracked easy, sorry. So tomatoes, they're great to start with for starting your seeds and being able to pot them up. And you'll see what I am talking about here in a second when I bring you inside. So let's get inside and see how rough these are looking. Okay, guys. Here are my shelves of shame. I can't say that. They're not all bad. Some of them are beautiful. There's a flat that I killed. We don't need to talk about that, but we will. So I started all of these in the end of all these up here in the end of February, beginning of March. And you can see they are ready to get outside. They want to keep growing. And my goodness, if this weather will ever break, we're going to get it done. So here's what I was talking about earlier. Let me just shuffle around a little bit. You got to grow where you can grow. That's kind of my motto this year. I'm making it work. Just get out there and get it planted, get it started. Something anybody can do, I'm telling you. That's my main goal with this video, is just to encourage you to do it. If you haven't done it or did it once and it failed, keep on trying. I mean, there's tips that you can pick up all along the way. I'll help you. Just reach out to me. We can troubleshoot it together. I'm more than willing, even if you don't know me. Just shoot me a message. I love getting to know people that are into gardening and the kind of things that I am too. I don't have a whole lot of garden-loving friends, but I'm really happy to make some. Anyway, here is a flat. This is just a container that I got rotisserie chicken in. The lid, these are all my baby chicken supplies down here. That'll be a video coming up soon too, baby chickens. And then here's the lid, rotisserie chicken, you can see it right there. And when I started these, I got my pot, or my seed starting soil. I sowed my seeds. Yeah, sowed my tomato seeds on top, and I put a thin layer of soil on top, and I let them germinate with the top on. And I kept it in my garage, and my garage has a heater. And I kept them covered and dark and warm. Even though it was winter, I was still able to keep it warm. You can do this on top of your fridge, because on top of your fridge stays warm as well. The appliance itself gives off heat. So you don't necessarily need to invest in germination mats. I want to someday, but if you don't, you can make it work. Just put it in the warmest area of your house and they'll germinate. You can even try seeds that have been sitting in your drawer or whatever for a couple years and give it a shot. I actually had purple peppers that... Oh no, the purple peppers were something I tried to seed save that didn't work. But in the house, I have some that were old seeds that I tried and they didn't germinate. No harm, no foul. So what I do now is, these are going to go straight in the garden, you guys. I'm not potting these up. But what I should do if this was earlier in the season is do something like this. Get more starting soil, which this is the bad soil, you guys. I'm about to tell you about that here in a minute when I go in the house. Solo cups is going to be the way to go for me. Do what works for you. This works for me because I tried these biodegradable pots and I'm not really loving it. They're slimy. I got these at Menards. They're slimy and weird. Like, I don't know. I just really don't like them. It seems like they've stunted my plant's growth. So that's just me, but y'all do what you want to do. And then this soil is, no, I'm never buying it again. I'll show you. But then you just pot them up. It's super simple. You just stick your finger in there and dig it out, which I probably should, but I don't have any soil. You can dig it out, and then when you plant it when you pot it up in your next container, all these little hairs, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, there you can see it down here. The little hairs on here. Come on, focus. Those hairs will turn into roots. So you can plant this. If I were to plant this, now that I've knocked it over, I would probably bury it in my little solo cup up to here. See all that? Buried becomes roots. So I'm going to have to get some soil and pot that one up now because I've ruined his root system. Anyway, that's what I did to these, okay? These were teeny tiny babies and they've kind of grown, but this soil's been awful. The first ones, as you can tell, that I potted up were these tomatoes that are now looking like a jungle up in here. So, if I can get back to those, when I go to plant these, hopefully this weekend, these back here, I'm going to remove the lower set of leaves right here, and I'm going to plant it out in my garden this deep. The root ball all the way up to here. Yeah, I'll probably cut this one off too and just bury it up to here, because all this shaft will turn into roots. So that's what I'm saying about tomatoes being super forgiving. My cats are being naughty in here. Brought them in because it was raining, but yeah, you can see them jungling back there. And the kind of setup I got going on here, this is just a TP-Link. You can run it off an app. I'm doing an Alexa routine, and so my lights, all these 3 lights plus the ones in my entry, are on a routine where it starts up when the sun rises and they shut off when the sun sets. The sun is setting, and so these are going to turn off. Yeah, so this is kind of what I got going on here. And see, here's my little failure, guys. You don't have to be perfect, and I'm not perfect. The poor thing is dead, and I'm not happy about that. But I missed watering this whole flat. I did water this one. Norma Jean. Here's my peppers. They're starting to wrinkle. They're just not happy. They got to get out. Look, they're dropping leaves. And here's what I'm talking again about the soil. Be very selective of your soil when you're starting your seeds, because these look like garbage. Look at that. And these were Baker Creek seeds. So it wasn't the seed company. It's just the soil. The same process that I did with these, I did with these. And I did them at the same time. So that's one little tip I'll give you, is make sure you're very selective on your soil. I should have been, and I regret it. But the soil that I got to start these, I got off Gardener's Supply. Just Google Gardener's Supply, and I got the soil off of there. It's a little bit more expensive, and it comes in a little bit smaller of a bag, but I didn't mind it at all. It did really good. Mama Jean, you're all right. This one, not very good at all. This is what I had this start of my tomatoes. This is what I planted. I did not like it. I would not recommend it. I know, baby. You want to go in the house? Come on, brother. Any day now. Okay. So, last but not least, this is kind of this isn't anything I'm going to plant, but these are my house plants that I cut their nodes and I have rooted. See, they're all starting to grow little leaves on them. This is my Cebu Blue Pothos plant that I got all these node cuttings off of. Aren't they gorgeous? I'm really excited about that, but that's not what this video is about. So let's go in. Yes, let's go in the entry. Come on, Mama. Okay. Last but not least, here is the last shelf in my, I had to expand in my entry because I got overzealous with my tomato planting. But look at how sad these poor transplants are. You can't even, pull it out of there and look. It's pretty rough. As soon as I transplanted them, the bottom leaves started dying and they just never grew anymore. They just quit. And I've got the drainage that I should, because you want good drainage in your pots. And I just bottom watered them. That's another little tip that I learned, is bottom watering your seedlings, because that encourages the roots to grow down, which is what you want. So I just bottom watered these because they were looking a little sad. They're not quite sucked up yet. And see, look at that. That's got nasty mildew stuff on it. It's just on the top. Don't mind my children. They're playing Angry Dolls, but this was the kind that I used for that. This is a Better Homes and Garden kind that I got from Walmart. And it says grows bigger plants, ready to use. It was a raised bed mix, which maybe I should have went with the seed starter mix, but I figured if it feeds full-grown plants, these were pretty big when I transplanted them. I figured it should be fine, but the soil just hasn't done what I had hoped it would. I also planted my herbs in there. This is my basil. Sorry, the lighting's bad, guys. This one is cilantro and parsley. And see how nasty they turned? They're like dying when I potted them up into here. They just hate it. Oh, parsley. Sorry, parsley. And this is cilantro. I was backward. But I'm not using that again. I'm going to stick with that gardener's supply stuff that I ordered. Okay. Here is a bunch of peppers. These are all bullnose peppers that I started. And then this side was going to be a Chinese giant variety in these two rows, and they did not germinate. This is what I was talking about, where even if you have seeds that are old and in your drawers and you don't know if they're going to germinate, just try. Because these did not. You never know, and you're still growing food. That's the important part. And then here's my elderberries that I gotta get out and get planted. They're living in their pots for now. They're doing great under the lights. But these are the ones that I was talking about in my last video, where I need to plant them out in the backyard. And this is going to be kind of my corner staple. And then here are my broccoli and cauliflower and cabbage. And they're starting to get a little bit angry. They want to get outside and in the soil. See, these leaves are kind of... I just pinched them dead ones off. I'll come back and grab those later. Trying to just keep it as healthy as I can while I'm waiting to plant. And that's all you can do, guys. Just try. And then back here I have some oregano going crazy. Rosemary back there that I want to get outside. And that's what I got going on in my entry. So stay away from that soil. Here's my onion sets for next year that I want to get planted. But the weather has not been cooperating. I hope to get that done this weekend as well. And I'll take you along when I plant all of this. So I'm going to finish off my video real quick while I'm outside in between the rain. Thank you, God, for this rain. I know it's been really tough on our farmers. I'm just thankful that we're not in the drought. But I'm praying for a happy medium too, because our farmers got to get in the field and get planted. The deadline's coming quick for them. So if you think about it and you could, please keep the North Dakota farmers in your prayers, that they can get planted, because it's been a rough season. I keep saying that, but it's been rough. So that's my little piece of starts that I did this year. I want to do more next year, obviously. My plan is to make a window greenhouse. You see, I have all these plans. I'm so lucky that I have a willing husband that's really handy, because I have all these wild ideas and wild plans, and he just so lovingly goes along with them, and I cannot thank him enough. So I'm very blessed. Just start something. If you can't start something, ask someone that you think gardens if they have extra seedlings. You know, buy locally for your seedlings that are already started, your nurseries, people that may be selling them on Facebook. You can sometimes search and find seedlings that are in your area that people have already started. That's what I wanted to do this year for our local community, was to start some tomato plants and get them sold, but as you can see, that didn't work. And that's okay. I learned to be specific about my soil, and just, you know, be careful what you buy, because I think this has been a rough year for gardening supplies and soils and stuff. But yeah, that's the best you can do, is just grow your food. If you haven't tasted homegrown food, go to your local farmer's market this summer and get some, because it is out of this world with flavor. You can compare a tomato from the store and a tomato that your local farmer grew out of their home garden, and there's a big difference in flavor and texture and just overall freshness. So get out there and grow. I guess that's my motto of this video, is just do something to preserve, or to grow your food, to get a food source at your house. Times are tough. They're getting tougher. The world doesn't look as good as it did a few years ago. So get that little security in your back pocket and get some food growing. You won't regret it. It's stress relieving, and it's something fun that the kids can do together with you. Spend some time outside. That's what I'm looking at it as, is a way to get outside and just enjoy the fresh air. And you can't beat these views. Even if you're in town, you can always hear the birds and the beauty. God created such a beautiful world, and you just have to take the time to stop and listen and see it. And that's what fills my soul. As the sun comes out and sets upon my land. Don't mind that trampoline, I gotta get that. Another idea I just had while I was looking, container gardening. These right here, I grew potatoes in last year. They didn't do very well because I planted them way too late, but you can get these super cheap on Amazon. I'll actually find them and link them in the description below. Another thing that we did, if you have a deck space of any kind, you can get these planters. And I did a video back in August, I think it was, yeah, of doing greens on my deck. And I grew beautiful. I don't think I did a follow-up video. I maybe put some pictures on my Facebook, but I grew some beautiful greens. I got some beautiful salad mixes out of here, spinach, kale. I did oh, sorry, kitty boy. My grandpa kitty, he wants in. You want to say hi to everybody? Say hi, kitty boy. You're such a baby. You're such a baby. It's easy to get distracted with animals around. And just grow. Because you can grow all kinds of stuff in here. Tomatoes are another thing that grow really well in containers, which you could use those for. You don't have to do just potatoes. You can do a lot of different stuff. Quick Google search will tell you what you can grow in containers. I'm not an expert by any means in that, but just grow, guys. It's worth it to just jump in with both feet and just learn. That's the best way you can do it, is learning with your hands on and in the soil. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'm so glad to have you here with us on our journey on this homestead. And there's going to be a lot more videos to come, because with the spring, there's a lot of work and a lot of video content I'm ready to put out for you guys, and you can grow with us. So have a beautiful week. Thank you, guys.